4 trucks. 1 brand. A price spread that reaches nearly $50,000. The Ford F-150. The F-250. The F-350. The F-450. Each one larger. More capable. More expensive. But here's what the dealerships won't tell you. Most buyers are getting it wrong. They're either overpaying for capability they'll never touch, or underbuying and discovering their mistake too late. The question isn't which truck is best. It's which truck you actually need. And the answer isn't what you think. Here's the paradox. As trucks get more capable, they become less livable. As they gain power, they lose comfort. As they add capacity, they subtract convenience. The average American thinks bigger is better. The data suggests otherwise. Because capability has a cost. Not just in dollars. In fuel economy. In parking lot maneuvers. In daily frustration. The real question isn't can you afford the bigger truck. It's whether you can afford to live with it. Let's start with numbers. Cold. Hard. Undeniable. The F-150 starts around $37,000. Reasonable. Attainable. Then comes the F-250. $43,000. Already a $6,000 jump for the privilege of a Super Duty badge. The F-350? Same starting price. $43,000. Identical twin, different nameplate. But the F-450? Here's where it gets interesting. $52,000. Minimum. Before options. Before reality sets in. But price is just the entry fee. The real choice? What's under the hood? The F-150 gives you options. A 3.3-liter V6. A 2.7-liter EcoBoost. A 5.0-liter V8. Even a 3.5-liter PowerBoost hybrid. Choices. Flexibility. Then you cross into Super Duty territory. The options narrow. A 6.2-liter gas V8. Or the Power Stroke diesel. And suddenly, you're not choosing an engine. You're choosing an identity. Here's where the mystery deepens. The Super Duty trucks F-250, F-350, F-450, they all offer the same diesel option. The 6.7-liter Power Stroke. A $10,000 upgrade. $10,000. For what? The promise of torque. The lure of capability. But there's a catch. Several catches. Diesel fuel costs more. Maintenance costs more. DEF fluid. Oil changes. Particulate filters. The question isn't whether diesel is powerful. It's whether you'll ever recoup that $10,000 premium. Let's talk horsepower. The F-150's 3.5-liter EcoBoost? 400 horses. Impressive for a half-ton. The Super Duty's 6.2-liter gas V8? 430. A modest bump. But the diesel, 475 horsepower. Not a massive leap. Until you see the torque figure. 1,050 pound-feet. In the F-150? 470. The difference? Night and day. Pulling a trailer. Climbing a grade. But on your commute to work? Utterly irrelevant. Towing capacity. The number everyone quotes. The metric few understand. An F-150 maxed out with the right package? 14,000 pounds. Enough for most travel trailers. Most boats. Most needs. The F-250 diesel? 20,000 pounds. The F-350 dually? $37,000. The F-450? $37,500. Staggering numbers. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The average truck owner tows, occasionally. And when they do, rarely more than 10,000 pounds. But towing is only half the equation. Payload matters more than most realize. The weight in the bed, in the cab, on the hitch. The F-150? 3,000 pounds maximum. Sounds like plenty. Until you load tools, materials, a fifth wheel hitch pin weight. The F-250? 4,000 pounds. Better. The F-350 single rear wheel? 7,000. The F-450? 8,000. Suddenly, the upgrade makes sense. If you're actually carrying that weight. Most aren't. Size. It matters. More than capability specs suggest. The F-150 spans about 210 inches. Big, but manageable. The Super Duties? All roughly the same footprint. 250 inches for crew cab models. An extra 3 feet. 3 feet that means the difference between fitting in your garage or not. Between navigating a parking garage or circling endlessly. Between urban maneuverability or constant frustration. This is the tax no brochure mentions. And then, there's the dually option. Available on F-350 and F-450. Dual rear wheels. Maximum stability. Maximum payload. Maximum width. 80 inches wide versus 72. Those 8 inches? They eliminate entire parking spaces. Drive-through car washes. Narrow trails. The dually owner lives in a different world. A world where capability comes at the cost of access. Where you can pull anything, but can't park anywhere. Fuel economy. The cost that never stops. The F-150 with the 2.7 EcoBoost? 20 miles per gallon combined. Respectable. The 3.5 EcoBoost? 18. The Super Duty Gas V8? 15 at best. The diesel? Slightly better. Maybe 17. But diesel costs more per gallon. And that $10,000 premium? You'll drive 100,000 miles before you break even. Maybe more. The math is unforgiving. The payback, elusive. Here's something unexpected. Interior comfort. Refinement. The F-150 has evolved. Premium materials. Quiet cabins. Technology that rivals luxury sedans. The Super Duties? They've caught up. Mostly. Same touchscreens. Similar features. But the ride quality? That's where physics intervenes. Solid front axles on Super Duties. Leaf springs designed for payload. Empty, they're harsh. Stiff. Punishing. The F-150's independent front suspension? It glides. Daily comfort versus occasional capability. The choice is clearer than you think. The technology story is simpler than expected. Ford democratized features across the lineup. 12-inch touchscreens? Available on all. Co-pilot 360 safety systems? Standard across models. Pro Trailer Backup Assist? Check. Onboard scales? Digital dashboards? Smart hitch receivers? All available. The F-450 doesn't get exclusive tech. It gets exclusive capability. But the screens are the same size. The cameras see just as far. Technology isn't the differentiator anymore. Capability is. And capability, most don't need. Let's talk about who actually needs these trucks. The F-150. Contractors. Weekend warriors. Families with boats. People who need truck capability, sometimes. The F-250? Landscapers. Builders with heavier trailers. Fifth-wheel RV owners. Those who tow frequently, but not commercially. The F-350? Now we're into serious territory. Commercial operations. Gooseneck trailers weekly. Heavy equipment haulers. And the F-450? Almost exclusively commercial. Construction companies. Equipment dealers. Those who would face fines for overloading anything smaller. But here's the uncomfortable truth the industry won't discuss. Many Super Duty buyers don't need a Super Duty. They want one. The image. The presence. The capability they might use twice a year. Dealerships know this. They encourage it. Upsell it. Because the profit margins on F-250s and F-350s dwarf those on F-150s. The question isn't whether you can afford the payment. It's whether you can justify the compromise. Every single day. Insurance. Registration. The costs that compound. A Super Duty classifies differently. Higher weight class. Commercial ratings in some states. Insurance premiums climb. Not drastically, but measurably. Added to fuel costs. Maintenance. Tires that cost twice as much because they're load-range DEF fluid every few thousand miles. Oil changes requiring 3 gallons instead of 2. DEF by 1,000 cuts. The monthly payment is just the beginning. Resale value. The eventual exit strategy. F-150s hold value remarkably well. Massive market. Huge demand. Easy to sell. Super Duties? It depends. Work trucks with high mileage? Tough sell unless priced right. But well-maintained diesel Super Duties? They hold value stubbornly. Diesel engines running 300,000 miles. Buyers know this. They pay premiums for low-mileage diesels. But only if you maintain them. Skipped DEF services? Neglected fuel filters? Your resale value just evaporated. So let's build the case for each truck. The F-150 first. Maximum versatility. Best fuel economy. Easiest to live with daily. Sufficient towing for most recreational needs. Fits in standard parking. Rides comfortably empty. Costs less to insure. Maintain. Fuel. If you tow occasionally a boat, a camper, a utility trailer, the F-150 handles it. Unless you're regularly pushing 10,000 pounds or need serious payload, stepping up costs you money. Every month. For capability you're not using. The F-250 occupies interesting territory. More capability than F-150. 20,000 pound towing with diesel. 4,000 pound payload. But nearly the same footprint as F-350. Same fuel economy penalty. Same parking struggles. So who chooses F-250 over F-350? Those who want single rear wheels for better ride quality. Who tow heavy, but not maximum weight. Who need Super Duty strength without dually width. It's the compromise truck. Not quite heavy-duty extreme. But more than half-ton allows. The F-350. Here's where things get serious. 37,000 pound towing with diesel and dually. 7,000 pound payload in single rear wheel form. This truck makes sense for specific users. Fifth wheel RV owners with heavy trailers. Contractors hauling excavators. Those who regularly approach weight limits. But it costs the same as an F-250 to start. So the decision becomes, dually or not? Need maximum stability and payload? Dually. Want to preserve some daily usability? Single rear wheel. Either way, you're committed. The F-450. The Apex. The Maximum. Only available as a dually. Only available with diesel in most configurations. Starts at $52,000 before options. And options are necessary. This isn't a consumer truck. It's a commercial vehicle that happens to have a luxury trim option. Buyers are businesses writing it off. Operators who face fines for overweight violations. Those hauling maximum legal loads. If you're asking whether you need an F-450, you don't. Those who need it know. Without question. Let's run real numbers. Annual ownership cost. F-150 EcoBoost, 15,000 miles yearly. Fuel at current prices? Around $2,200. Insurance? $1,200. Maintenance? $600. Total annual operating cost? $4,000. Now the F-250 diesel. Same mileage. Fuel? $3,200. Insurance? $1,400. Maintenance including DEF? $1,100. Total? $5,700. That's $1,700 more. Every year. Before you've towed a single pound. Depreciation tells another story. First 3 years. The F-150 loses about 35% of value. Painful but predictable. The F-250 diesel? 30%. Slightly better. The F-350 diesel, well maintained? 28%. The market values diesel longevity. But here's the twist. If you bought that $10,000 diesel option, you need better resale to justify it. The math works if you keep it long enough. If you trade every 3 years, you'll never recover the premium. The diesel advantage requires commitment. But numbers only tell part of the story. Real-world towing reveals the rest. The F-150 towing 10,000 pounds? Capable, but you feel it. Wind gusts move you. Grades slow you. Brakes work harder. It'll do it. But it's not effortless. The F-250 diesel with the same load? You barely notice. Torque pulls effortlessly. Transmission stays calm. Exhaust brake controls descents. The difference? Confidence. Peace of mind. The question becomes, how often do you tow? Weekly? The diesel makes sense. Monthly? Maybe. Twice a year? You're wasting money. Here's a test nobody talks about. The parking lot test. Take a Super Duty to Costco on Saturday. Circle. Wait. Squeeze. Worry about door dings. Now take an F-150. Still big. But manageable. Fits in compact spaces if needed. The difference? Every single errand. Grocery store. Mall. Downtown. The Super Duty isn't just bigger. It's a different lifestyle. One where you plan parking before destinations. Where drive-thrus become decision points. Where urban areas create anxiety. This is the daily tax of maximum capability. Commuting. The daily grind. The F-150 with the 2.7 EcoBoost and 10-speed transmission? Smooth. Refined. Surprisingly efficient. 23 mpg on the highway isn't unusual. The Super Duty diesel? Loud when cold. Takes time to warm up. Diesel clatter at idle. 17 mpg if you're lucky. Over a year of commuting, 50 miles daily? The F-150 burns about 1,100 gallons. The Super Duty diesel? 1,500 gallons. At $1 more per gallon for diesel? You're spending an extra $1,000 annually. Just driving to work. Weekend warriors. The largest buyer segment. They tow a boat in summer. A camper occasionally. Haul lumber for the deck project. The F-150 serves them perfectly. 14,000 pounds covers most boats. Most campers. Most recreational trailers. But the lure of more capability whispers. What if you upgrade trailers? What if you need more? Fear of future inadequacy drives Super Duty purchases. But here's reality. Most people don't upgrade to heavier trailers. They dream about it. Meanwhile, they're paying for capability they'll never use. Commercial operators. Different calculation entirely. The truck is a tool. An investment. Downtime costs money. Overweight fines cost more. For them, the F-350 or F-450 isn't excessive. It's insurance. Against violations. Against inadequacy. Against lost contracts because they can't haul the load. They write off the purchase. Deduct fuel. Depreciate aggressively. The math works differently when it's a business expense. The daily driving compromises? Irrelevant. The truck goes to job sites, not soccer practice. Now add trim levels. The trap within the trap. You can buy a base F-150 for $37,000. Or a limited for $78,000. Same truck. Different leather. You can buy a base F-250 for $43,000. Or a King Ranch diesel for $85,000. See the pattern? People upgrade trucks for capability they don't need, then upgrade trims for luxury they could have had in an F-150. A loaded F-150 limited costs less than a mid-trim F-250 diesel. Offers better fuel economy. Rides better empty. But doesn't have the badge. Let's revisit fuel economy with perspective. That 17 mpg diesel Super Duty? Sounds terrible compared to the 20 mpg F-150. Until you're towing. The F-150 drops to 8 mpg towing heavy. The diesel Super Duty? 12 mpg. Still thirsty. But relatively better. Over a 500-mile towing trip, the F-150 burns 63 gallons. The diesel? 42 gallons. But here's the question. How many 500-mile towing trips do you take annually? 2? 5? Because empty, the F-150 wins every single day. Payload. The spec everyone overlooks until it's too late. That 3,000-pound F-150 payload sounds adequate. But add passengers. Gear. A toolbox. Bed liner. Running boards. Weight adds fast. Then put a fifth wheel hitch in the bed. There's 800 pounds. Now your available payload for pin weight? 2,200 pounds. Suddenly, medium fifth wheels are maxing you out. The F-350 7,000-pound payload? It laughs at these calculations. But do you need a fifth wheel? Most don't. Most could use a bumper pull and never stress the F-150. Maintenance schedules reveal ongoing costs. The F-150 EcoBoost. Oil changes every 10,000 miles. Standard oil. Straightforward service. The Super Duty diesel? Oil changes every 10,000 miles. But 15 quarts of oil. 2 fuel filters. DEF tank to fill. Particulate filter to monitor. Each service costs double, triple at the dealer. And if you ignore the maintenance? Diesel engines punish neglect. Injectors fail. Turbos die. $5,000 repairs. The gas F-150? More forgiving. Still needs maintenance. But failures are cheaper. Brand loyalty plays a role. Ford owners often upgrade within the family. They owned an F-150. Loved it. Now they want more. The dealer knows this. Shows them an F-250. Same interior. Same tech. Just more. The upgrade feels natural. Justified. But it's a different tool. Watching people leave dealerships in Super Duties they don't need, financed for 7 years, convinced they made a smart choice, it's common. The salesperson isn't lying. The truck will do everything they claimed. But the question remains. Did you need it to? Environmental impact. Not everyone's priority. But worth discussing. The F-150 hybrid power boost? 24 mpg combined. Lower emissions. Planetary friendliness without sacrificing capability. 12,000 pounds of towing. 2,000 watts of mobile power. Then the diesel Super Duty. DEF fluid helps. Particulate filters trap soot. But it's still burning diesel. Heavily. If environmental footprint matters to you, the decision tree changes. The F-150 hybrid tows adequately. Uses less fuel. Costs less. Unless you're towing commercially, it's the conscious choice. Daily driving. The honest truth. The F-150 feels like a modern vehicle. Quiet. Comfortable. Responsive. The Super Duty feels like what it is. A work truck with nice seats. The solid front axle telegraphs impacts. The stiff springs jar over bumps. The diesel engine drones on the highway. It's not bad. It's just purposeful. And when you're not using that purpose, you're reminded of what you sacrificed. Every pothole. Every parking garage. Every gas station stop. The F-150 lets you forget it's a truck. The Super Duty never does. Value ranking. Pure dollars to capability. 4th place, F-450. 52,000 minimum. Capability most will never approach. Terrible daily vehicle for non-commercial use. 3rd place, F-350. Same price as F-250 but requires dually for maximum capability. Daily compromises too severe unless you truly need it. 2nd place, F-250. More capability than F-150. Manages heavy towing well. But the cost penalty is steep. 1st place, F-150. Best balance of capability, cost, and livability. Serves 90% of truck buyers perfectly. Costs less to buy, own, and operate. Daily driving ranking. Comfort. Convenience. Livability. 4th place, F-450 dually. Parking nightmares. Drive-through impossibilities. Harsh ride. Only acceptable if it's a work tool. 3rd place, F-350 dually. Slightly better than F-450. Same width problems. Same ride quality. 2nd place, F-250 or F-350 single rear wheel. Tie. Manageable size. Better ride than dually. Still compromised compared to F-150. First place, F-150. Not even close. Independent suspension. Reasonable fuel economy. Fits parking spaces. This is the truck for daily life. Towing ranking. Maximum capability. Confidence. Stability. Fourth place, F-150. Capable to 14,000 pounds. But you feel it. Adequate for recreational towing. Not for heavy commercial use. Third place, F-250. 20,000 pounds. Diesel torque. Confident towing. Good for most serious recreational users. Second place, F-350 dually. 37,000 pounds. Maximum stability. Serious fifth wheel capability. First place, F-450. 37,500 pounds. Absolute confidence. Commercial grade components. But unless you're regularly towing over 20,000 pounds, the F-250 or F-350 does everything you need. Payload ranking. What you can carry in and on the truck. Fourth place, F-150. 3,000 pounds maximum. Sounds good. But fifth wheel hitches and passengers eat it fast. Third place, F-250. 4,000 pounds. Better for heavier fifth wheel pin weights. Still limiting for serious commercial work. Second place, F-350 single rear wheel. 7,000 pounds. Now we're talking. Serious capability. First place, F-450. 8,000 pounds. Maximum. But again, who actually loads 8,000 pounds in the bed regularly? Commercial operators. Not recreational users. The F-350 offers the sweet spot for most who actually need serious payload. So here's the final verdict. The uncomfortable truth. 90% of truck buyers should purchase an F-150. Not an F-250. Not an F-350. Definitely not an F-450. The F-150 tows enough. Hauls enough. Costs less. Drives better. Uses less fuel. Fits in garages. The remaining 10%? They know who they are. Commercial operators. Serious fifth-wheel RVers with heavy trailers. Those who regularly tow over 15,000 pounds. For them, the Super Duty makes sense. For everyone else? It's expensive capability they'll rarely use. Here's your decision framework. Ask yourself these questions honestly. Do I tow more than 10,000 pounds regularly? Is my trailer over 15,000 pounds? Do I need to carry more than 3,000 pounds of payload including passengers and gear? Do I tow commercially or face overweight fines? If you answered no to all of these, you want an F-150. If you answered yes to one or two, consider an F-250. If you answered yes to three or more, now we're talking F-350 or F-450 territory. Be honest with yourself. Are you buying based on actual need? Or ego? Image? The feeling of commanding a massive truck? There's no shame in wanting a bigger truck. But there's financial pain in buying one you don't need. That extra $150 a month in fuel. The higher insurance. The parking frustration. The uncomfortable ride when empty. These aren't abstract costs. They're daily realities. And unlike the excitement of buying a new truck, they never fade. They compound. Every month. Every year. Every fill-up. The smart money move? Buy the lease truck that meets your actual needs. Not your hypothetical future needs. Not your once-a-year needs. Your regular, documented, proven needs. If you tow twice a year, rent a bigger truck for those trips. It's cheaper than owning capability you rarely use. If you think you might upgrade to a heavier trailer someday, wait until someday arrives. Technology improves. Trucks get better. Buy for today, not for a future that might never come. This is the wisdom the truck industry doesn't want you to hear. Exceptions exist. If you're planning to full-time RV in a heavy fifth wheel next year, buy the F-350 now. If you're starting a landscaping business, the F-250 makes sense. If you haul heavy equipment weekly, the F-450 is justified. But these are actual, concrete, near-term plans. Not vague ideas. Not someday dreams. Firm commitments with timelines. If your justification starts with what if, or maybe someday, you're rationalizing, not reasoning. And rationalization is expensive. The market reality? Dealerships want you in the bigger truck. Higher transaction prices. Better margins. Easier upsells. They're not lying about capability. But they're not asking whether you need it. That's your job. To assess honestly. To resist the appeal of more. To remember that the best truck isn't the most capable. It's the one that fits your life. Your budget. Your actual usage. Not your fantasy usage. Your real, documented, honest needs. This is the only calculation that matters. The truth. Simple. Uncomfortable. Essential. For most Americans, the F-150 is enough. More than enough. It's the truck that does everything you need without punishing you for capability you don't. The Super Duties are incredible machines. Engineering marvels. Capable beyond belief. But capability without application is just expense. And expense without value is waste. So the question isn't which Ford truck is best. It's which Ford truck is best for you. And now, you know. The mystery solved. The answer revealed. Choose wisely.